Hello everyone, and welcome to the lesson for the Surrealist color wheel project. So in this project we're going to be learning about a couple of different things. So first it's going to be color theory and the color wheel. This is going to give us some foundational and fundamental knowledge on color, on how color works, and we'll be able to use this knowledge and apply it to doing much more complex paintings too. We're also going to be learning about radial symmetry, or patterns that repeat around a radius, and we'll be looking at mandalas from all over the world for inspiration for that, okay? And then finally, we're also going to be learning about the Surrealist art movement, what inspired the Surrealists, what compelled them to make the type of art that they were making, and we'll be diving into that. Be sure to also check out the other videos that relate to this lesson. So there's a whole lesson on mixing out colors for the color wheel. It's in real time, so you can mix along with me. I encourage you to do that. Check out the video on basics of painting with gouache, so you can have an understanding of how to kind of handle this medium a bit. And then also be sure to check out the drawing portion video as well, so you can figure out the composition, and also mainly for that, so you know how to kind of set up your color wheel. You'll be creating lots of sort of custom designs on your painting, but you'll want to start from the same sort of foundational point that I show you in the drawing portion of the video. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my process for this painting. I'll be explaining things as you're looking at the time lapse. I'll be explaining things that I was thinking about as you're going along. And as always, if you have any questions about this assignment, a technique, a concept, please feel free to reach out and message me.
Pre-mix your colors beforehand. Start laying in colors to your color wheel, being sure to erase the letter standing for the color before you paint in. Be aware of what areas are wet. I laid down some of my colors within the color wheel, but not all of them consecutively. Remember that when the paper has been wet, either with pure water or a wash of color, pigment that you set down will expand into that wet paper. You don't want the colors on your color wheel blending together. For this reason, I put down some of the colors within my color wheel, then moved on to other colors within the background of my painting while I waited for the first colors to become more dry. In my background, I mixed a variety of blues to address the swirling, water-like forms of my composition. I used some basic color theory to mix the blues that I needed. The lighter blues are the cyan blue straight out of the tube. Bright highlights I created using white. The darker blues I mixed by adding the blue with its complement, orange. This combination of blue and orange gave me darker and more neutral blues. To achieve some very dark blues, I combined my blue with a little bit of black. Try combining complementary colors within your paintings to achieve the shadow values of your desired color. As a reminder, complementary colors are colors that are opposite of one another on the color wheel. When combined, they will make a dark neutral that is perfect for shadows. In this painting, you want to begin by addressing general areas and work up slowly to detail. In the background, I was also generally working from my shadow areas, from the dark areas, up into the light. Try to achieve a variety of paint applications, paying special attention to the opacity and transparency of your paint. In your color wheel, try to make your colors opaque. You want the consistency of your gouache to be like a thicker liquid. Think of a frothy latte. Outside of your color wheel, experiment. Try having some areas that are wet and wet. Add more water to the paint to put in transparent washes. For these transparent washes, the consistency of the gouache can be more like a weak tea. After you've established the base of colors in your color wheel, add patterns. Make your color wheel into an interesting mandala with repeating patterns and radial symmetry. I recommend also making the patterns on top opaque. I didn't plan out every pattern I put down on my color wheel, You can also let yourself experiment in the moment. Consider the values of the patterns you are putting down and the values of the areas that you're going on top of. For example, yellow is a very light value. If you try to put a lot of white patterns on top of yellow, it will not stand out. The value of white and yellow are too similar, and there will not be enough contrast. White on top of purple, however, would work really well. Purple is so dark, white patterns on top of purple will stand out nicely. Take your time with this project. Build up interesting patterns, get a variety of paint applications down, and try using the combination of complementary colors to create the shades for your background. As always, reach out with any questions you might have, and I'm happy to help you figure out how to mix the different colors that you want for your painting.